In most countries, understanding someone requires language. But in the Philippines, the real story is in the silence, in the gestures, the eyebrows, the pauses, and the glances. A raised brow says yes. A sideways pucker tells you where to go. And a warm smile might be hiding heartbreak. If you don't learn how to listen with your eyes and feel with your heart, you'll never truly understand the Filipino people. So today, let's decode the unspoken language of the Philippines. Let's read the room, Filipino style.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
Let's start with what I call the Filipino yes. You won't always hear it, but you will see it. You'll be standing in a shop, asking, "Is this in stock?" And the vendor won't say a word, but he'll give you a sharp little eyebrow flick. That's your yes. It's subtle, fast, and easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Filipinos developed this shorthand out of convenience, and maybe even humility. Why shout when a gesture will do? Why over-explain when the face can speak? But here's the deeper meaning. It shows just how tuned in Filipinos are to body language. They're listening to you, but they're also watching you. Communication here isn't just heard, it's observed. If you blink, you'll miss it. But if you're present, you'll start to see a whole new layer of meaning unfold. In the Philippines, don't expect a finger point when you ask, "Where's the bathroom?" Instead, you'll get a little lip pucker, a pout, a barely there air kiss toward the left or right. That's your map. That's your GPS. Pointing with lips isn't just quirky, it's cultural. Finger pointing can be considered rude, especially toward elders or people of authority. So Filipinos found a softer, less confrontational way to do it. And it's not just cute, it's fast. Efficient. You're in a noisy marketplace, and someone asks, "Where's the fish stall?" No need to shout. Just a little lip pucker in the right direction, and they're on their way. But here's the funny part. Foreigners always think they're being flirted with. Did she just kiss at me? No, bro. She's sending you to the rice aisle. It's a perfect example of how Filipino communication is compact, clever, and layered with history. You'll notice it early. Filipinos smile, a lot. At the bank, at the airport, even when they're telling you bad news. But don't make the mistake of assuming that every smile is joy. Some smiles are shields. Some are masks. A customer service representative might smile even if they're exhausted. A shy girl might smile because she's nervous, not because she's flirting. A guy might laugh and smile after bumping into you, not because it's funny, but because it's the polite thing to do. It's what psychologists call a social smile. It's not about how they feel, it's about how you feel. Smiling is a form of grace in the Philippines. It means, "I don't want to burden you with my bad mood." It means, "Let's keep the peace." And sometimes, it's the only thing someone has left to give. So learn to look beyond the smile. Ask gently. Check in quietly. The brightest smile might be hiding the heaviest load. Silence in the West feels uncomfortable. Like something's missing. But silence in the Philippines? It's presence. It's permission. It's peace. Sit with a Filipino family during dinner. No one's performing. No one's competing for airtime. There's laughter, sure, but there's also comfort in just being together. It's one of the most beautiful aspects of the culture. Here, you don't always have to talk to be accepted. You just have to be. It's why so many expats say they feel emotionally safer here. The Philippines teaches you how to be quiet with someone, without feeling alone. You might not understand the language, but you'll understand the vibe. And in time, you'll realize, real connection needs fewer words than you thought. Mahiyain. It means shy, but it doesn't mean scared. Many Filipinos, especially women, are taught to lead with humility. To observe before speaking, to listen before sharing. That's why when you walk into a room and say hi to someone, they might look down and smile. It's not rejection. It's not disinterest. It's modesty. The power of Mahiyain is that it allows space. It doesn't dominate. It respects boundaries. In the West, people chase charisma. In the Philippines, quiet elegance is often more admired. And if you take the time to be kind, to be patient, to be consistent, you'll see that shyness transform into trust, into laughter, into warmth. Mahiyan isn't a barrier, it's a gate. And if you approach with respect, it opens wide. In a culture where confrontation is avoided and harmony is prized, even the way people say wait is soft. You won't hear, hold on a second, shouted across the room. What you'll see instead is a raised hand, flat, palm out, like a silent pause button. The eyes might look away for a moment. That's your cue. That's tika lang. It's subtle, but it's firm. It's not aggressive, it's not loud. But it is a boundary. A respectful one. And in a country where personal space might be tight but emotional space is honored, that hand gesture says more than 1,000 words ever could. Filipino families operate like synchronized swimmers. You don't need to yell across the table. You don't even need to speak. One look, one tiny glance, and your cousin already knows, uncle's drunk again. This food slaps. Let's get out of here in 5 minutes. That's not gossip. That's nonverbal telepathy. It's one of the reasons Filipino gatherings feel like choreographed dance numbers. Everyone's tuned in. Everyone's reading everyone. Side eyes in the Philippines aren't shady, they're strategic. Learn the signals, and you'll never be out of the loop. You don't need to ask how someone's day was. Just listen for the sigh. In the Philippines, that exhale says everything. It says, I've been in traffic for 2 hours. The electricity just went out again. I cooked for 12 people and now I gotta wash 12 plates. It's exhaustion, it's resignation, but strangely, it's also resilience. Because that sigh is followed by a joke, or a story, or a plate of pancit and a quiet laugh. The sigh isn't the end of the story, it's just the comma. The pause before the comeback. In Filipino homes, love isn't loud. It's served. You won't hear, I love you at every meal. But you'll feel it when someone quietly drops a lumpia on your plate. Or when the host keeps refilling your rice without asking. Or when Lola sits back, eats last, and just watches everyone enjoy the food. These are the unspoken gestures of care, of nourishment, of tradition. And if you ever say, no, I'm full, good luck. Because someone's going to push another piece of chicken toward you and say, Kain pa, don't be shy. That's not pressure. That's affection. Filipinos know how to fall with grace. Literally, if you slip in a wet market or knock over a water jug, you'll likely hear laughter, not mockery, but relief. Then comes your own laugh. You join in. Why? Because laughing means, I'm okay. It's a way to diffuse embarrassment. To let the moment pass. Saving face in Filipino culture isn't about ego, it's about kindness. No one wants you to feel ashamed. So they give you a way out. Humor. A shared laugh. A clean exit. In the West, direct eye contact is praised. It's seen as strong, confident, trustworthy. But in the Philippines, it can be disrespectful, especially toward elders. A child who avoids your gaze isn't being rude. They're being respectful. A worker who looks down when speaking to their boss isn't scared. They're being humble. It's a cultural gesture, one of reverence, not rebellion. So if you're used to locking eyes to prove a point, dial it back. The message is still received, just through softer means. Filipino goodbyes are ceremonies. They involve steps, rituals. You hug, you bless, you chat, you walk them out, and then, you wave until they vanish. Doesn't matter if it's a bus, a boat, or a tricycle. That wave continues as long as possible. It's not for show, it's not habit, it's heart, it's care, it's, take my love with you, even after you're gone. And even if you're the one leaving, you'll carry that wave in your rearview mirror for miles. No need for text alerts in the barangay. You want to know who got engaged? Who's cooking kare? Who just came back from Dubai? The aunties already know. The moment someone whispers something at the sorry store, it spreads like wildfire. Through facial expressions, head tilts, and quick eye darts. It's not just gossip, it's a communication network. It's how the community stays connected. People joke about cheese whiz, but it's rooted in real-time intel, emotional pulse checks, and shared history. In a moment of loss, you may not hear, "I'm sorry for your loss." But you'll feel a warm hand on your shoulder, or a quiet plate of food delivered to your doorstep, or someone just sitting beside you, saying nothing. That's how Filipinos hug without arms. They don't need grand gestures. They don't need big speeches. Their presence is the comfort. And in grief, sometimes, silence is the deepest language of all. Every Filipino child is trained in what I call the look. It's the death stare, the warning shot, the don't test me visual command. It comes from mom, or dad, or Lola. No yelling, no grounding, just eyes that pierce the soul. And the best part? It works. Kids freeze mid-chaos. Toys are dropped. Chairs are pushed in. Because in a Filipino home, authority isn't always enforced with volume. It's enforced with energy. Filipino laughter is loud, infectious, and deeply healing. What starts as a simple joke turns into a ripple effect. One Tito chuckles. Then Lola starts wheezing. Next thing you know, everyone's crying from laughter. That's not just humor. That's bonding. That's release. Filipinos laugh hard because they live hard. They carry burdens, but they choose to laugh together. And when you've laughed with a Filipino family, you'll never feel like a stranger again. "Let's go" is just the beginning. The first goodbye happens at the table. Then there's one at the door. Then outside. Then by the car. Then while the engine's running. Why? Because Filipinos don't just say goodbye. They ease into absence. It's not about leaving. It's about making sure you feel loved right up until the last second. So next time someone takes an hour to leave your house, don't rush it. That long goodbye is one last hug in slow motion. In the West, praise can be loud, over the top. In the Philippines, it might be just a nod, a raised eyebrow, a satisfied smirk. That quiet approval means, "You did it. I'm proud of you. I see you." And when you earn that nod, from a father, a teacher, a mentor, it sticks. You remember it, because in Filipino culture, recognition doesn't need a microphone. It just needs sincerity. In the Philippines, karaoke isn't a talent contest. It's a birthright. It doesn't matter if you're good. It matters that you show up, that you try, that you sing your heart out. The audience isn't judging, they're cheering. Because karaoke here isn't about perfection. It's about connection. It's a way to release emotion, to celebrate, to bond. So grab the mic, forget the key, you're among friends. When you've lived in the Philippines long enough, you stop asking so many questions. You start sensing things, feeling moments, a tired sigh, a subtle gesture, a quiet smile. You begin to understand without needing words. That's when you know you've arrived, not just in place, but in spirit. Because in the Philippines, understanding the unsaid is the deepest sign of care. And once you get that, you're not just visiting anymore. You're home.